This is your host Sapin Bhartiya and welcome to TFR Newsroom. Peritus AI, the AI recommendation engine for developers self-service, is announcing a 3.4 million seed funding round, and the company is also launching Peritus Assistant for Slack, so developers can get rapid and informative responses to their common questions on a wide range of topics, all the way from cloud native to Kubernetes to Docker, Kafka, MongoDB, and whatnot. To talk about these two announcements, we have with us once again Robin Purohit, co-founder and CEO of Peritus. Robin, it's great to have you on the show again.
Swapna, great to see you again.
Yes, there are too much to talk about today, but let's start with the tech announcement, which is this Peritus Assistant for Slack. What is it? Tell me about it.
Our mission is to become the developer success company, right, where we can help developers master the latest technologies as they work from experts they trust. And what we've seen is a huge explosion in the use of enterprise developer teams on Slack. For good reason, it's a remote work world. And Slack is so easy to collaborate and connect to all your systems. So what we do is we provide assistance, particularly on cloud native topics, right in their Slack channels that's sourced from all the trusted sources that we can find, and including up to 1 million experts in the field.
So basically, if I look at, we have been covering Peritus for so long. So you are kind of, instead of bringing developers to your pipelines, you are moving to their pipeline wherever they are. So it's easy for them to look for information.
Correct. Our philosophy always is to go where developers are working and then help them there. So as you know, earlier this year, we announced a Peritus Assistant on forums. So you go to Stack Overflow or a vendor forum, we find an assistant that helps you find an answer faster. So we're taking that experience and now bringing it right to Slack channels where more developers are working and collaborating every day.
This might be a bit far-fetched, but Amazon this week announced some new assistants. So are there any Alexa skills also where they can plug in with Peritus and then developers can just simply ask Alexa, or that is not in your pipeline yet?
That's a great question. We have an open API to our Q&A system that's built on this recommendation engine. And so we have many customers that are actually building conversational experiences now on top of that API. And so we're happy to provide that.
Who is your target user with, especially the Peritus Assistant for Slack?
Yeah, the prime target for the assistant for Slack is enterprise developer teams, distributed developer teams that are working on cloud native topics where we've prepared and curated a very large data set of both content and experts that can help them as they work. And that can be a small team of a handful of people, growing to a globally distributed team of hundreds or thousands or more.
Right. And as you are kind of keep adding more platforms to Peritus, what kind of feedback you have received from your user base, or what kind of trends you're seeing? Because if you look at companies, of course, developers' pipelines are getting busier and busier. What kind of mechanisms companies have internally to support their developers so they don't have to look outside?
Yeah, I think that's the big problem, right? Is that when somebody has a problem, they check internally, they go to Google, then they start hunting on a myriad of different forums. So what we see as the common problem is it just takes too long to find an answer from someone you can trust. And on the Slack experiences, what we find is that if your question hasn't been answered after 3 hours, you're never going to get a response because Slack has a very ephemeral nature to it. So we have several thousand people that installed our assistant for Chrome to use on forums. And what we've heard is from them is we needed more content. So we're rapidly adding more content, particularly in the cloud native industry, because that way we can kind of connect all the experts that are best known in the industry. And these topics are very intertwined. So our focus is continue to expand for anything that we can find that's relevant to somebody working with cloud native technology.
As you're supporting different platforms, the knowledge base, is it common, or with Slack it's different and with forums it's different?
That's a great question. Again, we have a recommendation engine, and we use that recommendation to continuously source the best content, conversations, and experts from everywhere that is a trusted source. And that backend engine is used to build multiple applications. The assistant for Chrome can be used on any forum. and now the Peritus Assistant for Slack. And there's other things that we're building on top of that as well.
How much things have changed since I think it's been like a couple of months since we talked.
Yeah, well, I think the last time we talked, we just started expanding our data set. So that's continued to go well. We have now over 1 million developers that we've indexed in our system that can provide recommendations, and probably over 27 million content objects. And that's just going to continue to grow exponentially now because we've really polished our ability to automate and source information from virtually anywhere. So that's been big progress. And then we've been really heads down getting the Slack experience in place. That's been the focus over the last 2 or 3 months. And then as we talk about later in this call, there's something new and exciting that I'll share with you that's coming soon.
And since we are talking about growth, I also want to talk about this new seed funding. What are the areas that you are looking at for further investment and growth?
Yeah, so we were really thrilled to have First Raise join Benemu Venture Partners, who's been a seed investor for over a year now. Mainly because they understood the problem within 5 minutes, and within a couple of weeks, they decided they wanted to participate. And they've been a super helpful investor for us, connecting us to a number of prospects and partners. So we're always going to keep raising funding, of course. So we're on to kind of looking for our next investment partners. The main thing, the next check will be used for to expand that data set to everything we can find in the cloud native industry. We're starting to work actually with the Cloud Native Compute Foundation, a number of their projects, to bring that into the system. So that's one area, but most importantly, go to market. Now that we have a product that we know people like, and we think that it's time to invest heavily in our sales and marketing side. So the next check will go largely towards boosting that sales and marketing effort.
I know you cannot make any announcement, but if I ask, what kind of roadmap you have, of course, you are in a space where a lot of innovation is happening. So give us a glimpse. I don't want to talk about like 1 year from now, but a few months from now.
No, I think that we can talk about near-term startups. Now we live on a month-by-month basis, not year-to-year, especially at this stage. So our next big focus is something we call community intelligence. So if we think about Slack, Slack is actually used by virtually every open source company as a primary method to build community and also support. The bigger the company gets, the more likely they will have multiple ways that they're connecting with their developers. Of course, on GitHub, on Stack Overflow, they start to host their own vendor forums, Reddit essentially. So what we do when somebody's running a community on Slack, we'll look at all those conversation history and make that part of our recommendation engine. And then we'll provide them analytics across what's happening across all the different community channels they have, so they can drive more effective developer engagement and success.
Of course, Kubecon is around the corner. Are you folks participating at Kubecon? And if yes, in what capacity? What are you going to showcase there?
Yeah, we're super excited to be there. We're an end user member of CNCF. And a lot of our target customers and users are going to be there. So we have a number of meetings scheduled. If anybody wants to reach out to me, just send me on Twitter or Robin@Peritus.ai. And I'd love to chat with you.
Robin, thank you so much for once again taking time out today and talk to me. And I look forward to our next conversation, which will be about those exciting announcements that are coming out. Thank you.
Swapnil, thanks for having me again.